civil servants in Germany's most populous state of North Rhine-Westphalia, NRW, could become victims of espionage at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. At the end of February, the State Interior Ministry referred to the fact that private electronic devices could be the target of spying. It is therefore recommended not to take private IT and smartphones with you, stated the ministry's security notes for the event. According to media reports, the town clerk of Mülheim in Ruhr, Frank Steinfort, advised his employees in an email to use a non-web-enabled spare mobile phone in Russia. It should be ensured that no business content is stored on private IT. This includes, for example, business contact lists in the phone book. The city administration declined to make any further comment to DW, merely referring to the NRW Interior Ministry. Read more. Why are Russia and the West allowed to spy on each other? Russia on the list of risk countries. The Interior Ministry's press office explained that there have been incidents in the past in connection with Turkey and Russia in which travelers had their mobile phones confiscated. The phones were returned without any comment after a certain time, but afterwards it was discovered that the devices had been partly read. I believe that last October we published travel tips for Turkey and Russia because such incidents occurred, Interior Ministry press spokesperson, Tobias Dunkel, told DW. In Germany, Russia is on a list of about 30 risk countries. The list is compiled with the participation of diplomats, members of the Federal Intelligence Service, BND, the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, BFV, and the Military Counterintelligence Service, MAD. Certain officials who have access to state secrets must inform their superiors of their travel plans when traveling to such countries. Read more. UK says Russia spied on poisoned expats for 5 years before chemical attack. World Cup visit only with a fan ID. The procedure for assigning fan ID is another reason for the NRW Interior Ministry's security instructions. Russia is introducing a kind of fan passport. It was tested for the first time at the Confederations Cup 2017 in Russia. There has been nothing comparable at previous big tournaments. With Fan ID, visitors can go to games, get free train tickets for travel between World Cup cities and use the city's public transport on match day. Even more important for foreigners is that they can enter the Russian Federation without a visa, if they have a fan passport. According to security information for private trips to the World Cup in Russia, although visa-free entry into the Russian Federation is being promoted, an alternative measure has been created with the Fan ID. Extensive data must be provided when applying for Fan ID. When applying for Fan ID, a football fan must agree to his or her personal data being processed. The following data is made available to the Russian Ministry of Communications and Media for the purpose of verification by Russian security authorities: last name, first name, birthday, gender, identity card details, type of document, series, number, issuing authority and date of issue, nationality, photo, mobile phone number, email address, and the delivery address of the personalized spectator card. The main stadium, which is home to the Russian national team, has a capacity of 81,000. It will be the venue for both the opening match and the World Cup final, as well as one of the semi-finals. The stadium, which has been renovated for the World Cup, has previously hosted a Champions League final in the Summer Olympic Games. The Ekaterinburg Arena, which was built in 1953, has been refurbished for the 2018 World Cup. The stadium, with a capacity of 35,000, is the home of FC Ural of the Russian First Division. Ekaterinburg is the furthest east of the host cities. The new home of Zenit St. Petersburg holds 68,000 spectators. It is the venue for one of the semi-finals and the third-place match. It will also host a game in the last 16 as well as group stage matches, including one of Russia's clashes. St. Petersburg Stadium was also a venue for the 2017 Confederations Cup. This 44,000-capacity stadium was built for the World Cup on an island south of Samara where no settlements or infrastructure previously existed. This is where hosts Russia will play their final group stage match. A last 16 match and a quarterfinal will also be played in the stadium, which is to become the home of Krylia Sovetov, currently in the Russian second division, after the tournament. This venue was built on the site of the old Central Stadium in Volgograd near the Volga River. It can hold over 45,000 spectators and will only be used for the group stage. After the World Cup, it will become the home of Rotor Volgograd, a club currently playing in Russia's second division. Volgograd used to be known as Stalingrad. German architect Tim Hute designed this brand-new bowl stadium for the World Cup. The stadium has a capacity of 44,000 and will only host matches in the group stage. After the tournament, the upper seating will be dismantled and the stadium will be handed over to third-tier Russian side Mordovia Saransk. Rostov Arena, with a capacity of 45,000, is one of the new stadiums built specifically for the World Cup. The stadium will host 4 group stage games and 1 match in the last 16. It will become the new home of FC Rostov after next summer's tournament. This 45,000 capacity stadium was built specifically for the World Cup. It will host 4 group stage games as well as a round of 16 match and a quarterfinal. After the tournament, it is expected to become the home ground of Olympia's Nizhny Novgorod of the Russian second division, although in March 2017, then regional governor Valery Shantsev said it would also be used for other sporting events. This is the only World Cup venue in an exclave of Russia. Kaliningrad is a territory between Poland and Lithuania. The 35,000 capacity stadium was built specifically for the World Cup and will be downsized after the tournament. It is only a venue for the group stage and will become the new home of Baltika Kaliningrad, a club in Russia's second division. Though it was used for the Confederations Cup, the Spartak Stadium, with a capacity of 45,000, will only be used for 4 group stage games and 1 first knockout stage game. The arena was reopened in 2014 and is the home of Spartak Moscow, Russia's most successful football club. The venue for the Confederations Cup, Kazan Arena, will be used for a last 16 game, a quarterfinal and 4 group stage games. The capacity of the stadium is 41,585. Vladimir Putin laid the cornerstone for the stadium before it opened in 2013. It is the home ground of Rubin Kazan. This 41,220 capacity stadium was constructed for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. A large section of the roof has been removed to accommodate football. A last 16 match and a quarterfinal will be played here as well as 4 group games. Author, Davis van Opdorp. Read more. German Foreign Minister urges Russia to change its ways safety information at a federal level. The applicant must agree to the disclosure of this data by ticking a box online. But most people don't even read the lengthy regulations. For this reason, the North Rhine-Westphalian Interior Ministry decided to draw its employees' attention to this, and to issue its own safety instructions, says Dunkel. Because not everyone is so careful and they may perhaps end up wondering where their data has been shared. The authority's internal security instructions also state that the use of business email addresses, business mobile phone numbers, or the use of business addresses as delivery addresses is prohibited when applying for the Fan ID, but Dunkel stresses this should not be taken as a general warning against traveling to the World Cup. It is still unclear whether there will be similar safety instructions at a federal level. The Federal Interior Ministry confirmed that it received a request for a response on this from DW, but it had not responded at the time of publication.